Three signs you have social anxiety. The first one is over analyzing conversations. I'm here at the restaurant working, and I went to a table to basically clean the table. But then this guy, he was like, "Hey man, where are you from?" I was having a conversation with this customer, and I tell him where I'm from. I'm from Guatemala, and I really love to be here, and this is what I'm doing here, and these are my goals. And I was like, I'm really privileged to be here, and I love the U.S., right? After maybe 7 minutes, I was like, "Hey sir, it was nice to meet you." And he was like, "Yeah, it was nice to meet you too." As I'm walking away, there was a voice in my head judging and criticizing everything that I said. And not only everything that I said, but the way that I said it. This voice was telling me, "Oh, you sounded too excited. He might be thinking that you're weird," right? Because I was like, "Yeah, I really love this country," right? Or like certain things like, "Oh yeah, your accent. He must be thinking that you're awkward." Nah, he doesn't. He might not like you. He might not like immigrants, right? There was a voice criticizing everything that I said and how I said it. Everything was inadequate, not good enough, not interesting enough. I learned from this book that there's something called inner critic. And the inner critic is basically the voice that I would tend to hear whenever I would have a conversation with someone. "Oh, why did you say that? Why didn't you say this? Why was not that was not good enough? That was stupid. That was inadequate. You shouldn't have said that," right? It's this voice that is telling us, that is criticizing, judging everything that we say and everything that we do. After a conversation with someone, I would always notice and I would always knew every single imperfection and mistake that I made. If I had a 5 seconds of an awkward silence, I would have that in my head. If I said something in a tone that was really uplifting, and I would always think that that was not inadequate, right? I would always knew every single bad thing that I did in the interaction, instead of being like, "How was this interaction? Oh, this is a cool, interesting person," right? It wasn't like that. It was all fucking selfish, and it was all about the bad performance that I had and how bad the conversation was and how awkward those moments were in the conversation. If you tend to analyze the conversations with people, that's the first symptom that you have social anxiety. Now, the solution for this and what I found helpful for my own experience is basically be aware of this voice. This is called the inner critic, and the way to separate yourself from it is to basically, whenever I hear this voice, I'm always like, "Oh yeah, it's the inner critic talking. It's not me. It's the Green Goblin," right? And it helps me to be aware. Oh, they are thinking that you're weird. Oh, he's thinking this about you. That's all cap. It's my fucking mind trying to lie to me. When I'm aware of this voice, it no longer affects me. Another thing that helped me is have more compassion with myself. I remember that when I first started addressing social anxiety, whenever I put myself out there, I'd be like, "This conversation was awkward as fuck." And instead of beating myself up, be like, "I suck," I would see it as fun, right? I would be like, "God damn, that was so awkward and so dry," right? But that's because I had compassion towards myself. And then I would tell myself, "Look, as long as you're not quitting, as long as you are showing up, you're winning. Your performance will not be the greatest because you don't have enough experience, and that's okay. You're showing up," right? I had compassion with myself instead of beating myself up for the bad mistakes that I made. The second symptom, avoiding social situation. It's a Sunday and I'm at work, and a coworker came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I wanna invite some people from the restaurant, from some people from the staff, to come over to my house. We're gonna be singing, I don't know how to say it, karaoke, and we're gonna be singing, we're gonna be playing, and I want you to come." I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, sounds good, yeah, I'm gonna go." But deep inside, I knew that I was not gonna go. And it's not because I didn't want to go or I hated this girl. It was because I didn't want to show up, go to a party, and come across as someone that is awkward. I didn't want to make a fool of myself because I knew that there was gonna be some people that I didn't know. You see, one of the things that has helped, how does the mind know the future? So for example, back then, she invited me over. I didn't go because I was gonna make a fool of myself. Well, does the mind know the future? It doesn't, right? It doesn't. Oh, I'm gonna be awkward if I talk to people that I don't know. Does the mind know the future? It doesn't. It does not know. So the thoughts that I would have, the socially anxious thoughts, were false. And not only that, you know what the beautiful thing is? Is the moments where I being forced to go to social events, and even with my friend, I always mention my friend in my videos. Well, much of my friends. I have a close friend, right? Whenever I have a close friend, this friend has other friends. So this guy invites me to a party where I'm forced to go because he's invited me, right? But the thing is, when I show up, I have good time. And it's funny because previously, before the event happened, I was overthinking and my anxious brain was lying to me. And I was thinking about the worst case scenarios. But those worst case scenarios didn't happen because I would force myself to go. And since I was there, the things that I thought that would have happened didn't happen. This literally happened to me yesterday. I got invited to a party and I really didn't want to go. I was like, should I go? I got some videos to make. I should be productive. But I ended up going. And it was one of the beautiful nights that I had. And I met this beautiful girl with the blue eyes and everything. We were vibing and everything, right? Just because I showed up and I forced myself to go. The third symptom that you have social anxiety is physical symptoms of anxiety. I'm at the gym and I see that it's a beautiful, pretty, hot girl by the cardio machines. All that I'm thinking is I should approach her. I should be like, hey, I think that you're beautiful. May I have your phone number? I was overthinking. There was a lot of people around her, so I was like, what if people see me getting rejected? What if she's like, if she's too loud? She's like, no, I have a boyfriend. Everyone hears this, right? I was overthinking, but I was like, I'm gonna use my social discipline. I'm gonna have the balls to approach her. So I went up to her and I was like, hey, my name is David, and I thought that you were beautiful. What's your name? So I am extending my hand. And I was like, what's your name? As I'm extending my hand, she saw my fucking hands were literally shaking. And that made the situation kind of awkward, right? And then she was like, no, I have a boyfriend. Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, nice to meet you. And then I walked away, right? Once again, I have compassion towards myself. So for me, that was funny. It was an awkward moment. That's the third symptom. If you feel like your heart is racing, if you feel like your hands are shaking, if you feel like you're gonna die every single time that you're about to talk to even the waiter, even when someone is about to take your order, if you feel like you're about to die, you have social anxiety. So if you want me to personally help you to overcome social anxiety so that you can no longer have these fucking symptoms, check the link at the description and send me a DM. I can help you with that.